Good Wednesday evening, folks. It's Eddie. I'm south of the border tonight, coming to you from the U.S. I'm down in the state of Pennsylvania, celebrating U.S. Thanksgiving with my family, and that's going to be tomorrow. But even though I am away, I am still keeping a close eye on the weather, and tomorrow is going to be a bit of a difficult day weather-wise across many areas of Newfoundland and parts of Labrador. And part of that is because it's going to be so cold. It's already getting cold out there this evening. Those were temperatures around 9 o'clock Newfoundland time on the island. They're going to fall further overnight in Labrador. At that point, it was into the teens below freezing for many areas. Now, for tomorrow, we're looking at temperatures across the board pretty well below freezing. It's going to be windy, and we're going to see some intense snow squalls along the west coast, and it also looks like some areas of snow through central, northeastern, and eastern sections of Newfoundland, helping to generate some new snow on the ground and also some blowing snow. So we've got a few alerts that we'll get to here in just a second. As we take a look at the forecast map for tomorrow, essentially what we're going to see is an area of low pressure kind of swirling north of and then kind of brushing the coast of central and eastern Newfoundland in the afternoon. And that's going to do a couple of things. A, it's going to bring some very heavy snowfall to portions of Labrador overnight into the day tomorrow, winding down tomorrow night. B, this area of low pressure is going to help destabilize the atmosphere, so we're going to see some fairly intense snow squalls across western Newfoundland tomorrow, and that's really anywhere from Hampton Junction to Port aux Basques on the TCH and on the Northern Peninsula, about as far north as, Port Saunders, kind of Port aux Choix. So if you're going to be going up that way tomorrow, it's going to be a very difficult travel day, especially once you're up north of Deer Lake. For central eastern Newfoundland, we will see some areas of flurries tomorrow and some snow squalls at times, but we're also going to see some high wind speeds, and the high winds are going to help reduce those visibilities in the areas of blowing and drifting snow. Now, speaking of that, in Labrador along the coast, we've got a blizzard warning up for Postville, Makova, Hopedale, and Nain through tomorrow for as much as 40 centimeters of snow and winds gusting as high as 120 kilometers per hour. So a very windy Thursday on tap for coastal Labrador. On the island, it's also going to be quite windy tomorrow as well for the Northern Peninsula East and many areas of coastal Newfoundland where winds are going to be out of the north or north-northwest, gusting to about 100-110 kilometers per hour, mainly during tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. And combined with even a little bit of falling snow, it's going to create some greatly reduced visibilities. Across most of the island, we are under a blowing snow advisory. So from St. John's to the west coast, as far north as Parsons Pond, Hawke's Bay, and as far south as Channel Port aux Basques, we are going to see areas of blowing and drifting snow tomorrow, which will again make travel difficult at times in some areas. I think the worst travel tomorrow is going to be on the west coast, where we have the intense snow squalls and the blowing and drifting snow. So folks on the west coast, certainly keep that in mind if you have travel plans tomorrow. I advise that you probably don't want to travel if you don't have to, because at times it's going to be downright miserable out there. So far as the snowfall forecast goes, as you can see, the highest amounts into the mountains across western Newfoundland, but areas that get under those snow squalls, 5, 10, 15, 20 centimeters is certainly not out of the question. But as you can see there, the most snow over the next 24 plus hours is going to be for coastal areas of Labrador, where it's going to be in excess of 30 centimeters in some spots. And so far as that wind forecast is concerned, there's the wind forecast, and this will kind of start over for us here in a second. And what you'll see is the wind speeds tomorrow morning don't start off that impressive, but there's that core of high wind speeds brushing coastal Labrador, working on the Northern Peninsula, and by tomorrow evening and tomorrow night, those wind speeds are going to be gusting quite high for portions of northeastern and eastern Newfoundland, potentially in excess of 110 or 120 kilometers per hour tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. So it's going to be an interesting day on Thursday. I'll be keeping track of the weather for you throughout the day, but I hope this gives you a good idea as to what we can expect. I did try posting a Facebook article, but in true Facebook style, they post something that doesn't quite work, which is incredibly frustrating when you spend the better part of a half hour, 45 minutes writing an article like that. Well, I hope you found this informative and helpful. Take care, stay safe, and I'll try and get a weather update out to you tomorrow.